Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the all-new Patreon monthly shout-out video. Well, it is that time of the month where I recognize my fellow crypties, as I call them, my fellow supporters there on my Patreon channel. This will now be actually month 26 when it comes to my Patreon channel. For starters, I wanted to apologize for not being able to do my support video last month. Things just got a little sidetracked where I was out of town and then on a big vacation, and then just work just got a little bit more hectic than usual. And so again, my apologies for not doing that shout out. So in this one, I wanted to especially dedicate a huge thank you to all my fellow crypties that you'll see here in just one moment. So thank you so much for your continued monthly support. And as always, this channel, the reason I do this particular Patreon channel is because things are still kind of not too hectic, but still the ramifications of the adpocalypse that happened almost a little over 2 years ago are still being felt to this day. Doesn't help that some of the big YouTubers are still making a big mess when it comes to their antics. And so anything involving revenue, monetization, and other type of ads, it's still kind of like the Wild West out there, and it's getting better, but at least with regards to this channel, I thought I would just start it as a way for anyone out there that wanted to support, you'll be able to do so in a more direct manner. So thank you so much everyone for these 2 years. Very happy to have this channel, this Patreon channel. And as always, I do have exclusive podcasts there. I'm doing them now on a monthly basis rather than, let's say, on a weekly basis. That way I get to dedicate one huge hour-plus long podcast. They've been averaging actually about 90 minutes or so, where I go into extreme detail about certain topics that I love. It's a great way for me to just be able to relax and then go into far more insight into whatever I'm talking about. For example, this coming months, this one, for example, here in March, I'm going to talk about my trip there to the Zak Bagans Haunted Museum. I'm actually going to illustrate through a podcast, in other words, through your mind, all the 30 plus rooms that you're able to visit within that particular museum. So it's a great way, almost like an audiobook. When I was thinking about it and I was writing down all this information for the podcast, it's a great way to vicariously share my experience in that museum with you through your mind. And that way I would try to detail as much as possible everything that I can there. And it's great too if you haven't been to the museum. Maybe it's a good heads up when it comes to be able to going there. And then as far as other stuff that I have a bunch of insider photos from my videos talking about a lot of subjects that are great callbacks or great references to the videos that I've made. So I've gotten more into that too. And then every now and then I love posting stuff involving my trips, stuff involving like my ghost hunts or any places that I visit, just random photos that I love sharing there and more details associated with it. So as always, it's just $1 to start when it comes to joining that particular Patreon channel, and $5 if you want the more pronounced shout outs and the exclusive podcast there too. So that's it. If you wanted to join, I'll include the link below. As always, you can click on that. You don't have to, but if you join it, I'll be glad for you to be a part of my fellow crypties. Now let's go ahead and let's share the shout out here for the current crypties. So good news is things are slowly growing, so I'm happy to see that more people are joining. In this case, you'll see we now have 7 members when it comes to my Patreon channel. So the biggest shout out that I have now is of course for Fane Star with her amazing $10 monthly contribution, $10. So thank you so much, Fane Star. You've actually been a member now for a little over a year. So you've celebrated your anniversary just the other month or so, and I greatly appreciate that 1 year anniversary. And by far, thank you so much for having the largest amount to contribute on my Patreon channel. Plus too, Fane Star, if you ever have any ideas, anything you want to share on the channel, anything I can do, as I mentioned to all my other fellow crypties, you can link a message to me directly there, and then I'll be happy to take a look. So thank you so much again, Fane Star, for that amazing support. And then Mr. Paul R is the next one that I wanted to mention here. He's actually been a member for a good time period, a little over maybe 6-7 months or so. But he actually upgraded to the podcast level. So previously he was in the Tipdar channel, which was the $1 monthly contribution. But Mr. Paul R upgraded recently to the $5 podcast one. So now he gets to enjoy all those exclusive podcasts. So thank you so much, Mr. Paul R, for that too. Heavily appreciate that upgrade. And then Mr. Auto 1077 with the $1 tip jar. He's also one of my longest supporters. He's been there actually for about 16-17 months or so. So pretty much almost 3/4 of my entire period here on my Patreon channel. So thank you, Mr. Auto 1077. And then Charles, we have a $1 tip jar. He's been there a little over 6, maybe 7 months or so. So thank you so much, Charles, for your amazing continued support. Trevor N is another gentleman who's been there for a long time. I think over 12 months now. In fact, it's a little blurry because now the details showcase a different number, but I know that he's been there for a good while. So thank you so much, Trevor, for that $1 tip jar and for your continued support and for coming back essentially and doing that. And then also Mr. Leon P, yet another person that's a longtime member. He's almost going to celebrate 1 year when it comes to my channel. So thank you so much, Leon P. And then we have our newest member. We have Clifton Y, who just joined about 2 months ago. And so thank you so much, Clifton, for joining. I'm hoping you're enjoying all the regular posts and then also the photos that I've posted in the past. So again, huge thank you for Miss Fane Star for your continued support well over a year now when it comes to that $10 monthly charge. And then also Mr. Paul R, thank you so much for the upgrade and for being a longtime supporter too. Auto 1077, thank you again, sir, for being one of the longest current one actually that I have. Mr. Charles as well for your $1 tip jar as well and for your continued support. And then when it comes to Trevor N, thank you so much for coming back when it came to your previous support and then coming back afterward to continue it. So thank you again. And then Leon P, thank you so much again, sir, for your amazing support. One of my longest members too, about to celebrate 12 months again. So thank you. And for the newest support, Mr. Clifton Y. So thank you so much, everyone, again for this shout out video. If you have a chance again, you can click on the link below and start seeing all the exclusive posts that I have there. I'm still going strong on the channel. I don't foresee me doing anything else afterward or changing anything. If I do, it will have to be something YouTube related. Like I'm getting closer and closer to the magic 30,000 subscriber part. So apparently something big is supposed to happen there. So once that happens, I'll see how that goes. And then I'll see what happens to my Patreon channel afterward because of it. But thanks again, everyone. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.